I would like to welcome you in this new chapter where we're going to be learning about C++20 coroutines. Coroutines are one of the big four features in C++20, and we have had a chance to look at concepts and ranges. This time we're going to look at coroutines and learn what they are all about, and we will learn about modules in the next chapter. Coroutines are a feature that is built on top of C++ functions, and they are designed to make writing asynchronous code easier. Now, if we look back at functions, they can really do two things. You can call a function, and a function can optionally return something. And this is really all we can do with functions as we know them in C++ standards before C++20. But in C++20, the features of a function have been expanded. Now we will have the ability to pose a function and we can resume it to make it keep doing whatever it was doing before we posed it. And we are able to do this because of the features that coroutines bring in place. Now, if we look at the function here, please do ignore this return type here because it's just going to confuse you at this moment. So we have a function which is going to return something we don't know yet. But once we hit the body of the function and hit these three statements here that say coyield, we're going to pose the function. So we're going to start running the function. Suppose we call it in our C++ program. Execution is going to hit this coyield statement, which has a 10 operand on it. So execution is going to pose here. So we are going to freeze at this moment in this function here, and we will store the state of this function somewhere in our memory. So we're going to store the parameters, we're going to store the local variables, we're going to store the location where we posed the function so that we will know where to come back when we resume this function. And another piece of information which is important that we will store is a handle to this coroutine frame that we will use to resume execution for this coroutine. And this is really what we have in C++20. We have an infrastructure to support this posing and resuming, and behind the scenes, this is going to store the state of our function somewhere on the heap, and we will have a handle to that frame, and we will be able to resume our function execution using this handle here, and it is going to use the information we have to restore the parameters, the local variables, and it is going to jump to the statement next to the point where we posed our function here, if this is making any sense. So this is what we can achieve with coroutines, and we're going to see the constructs we have to support this feature in C++20 in the next few lectures. Now, in C++20, we don't have actual coroutines type we can use. What we have is an infrastructure on top of which we can build our own C++ coroutine types. So you should really know this. But in this chapter, I am going to show you different things you need to be aware of in building your own coroutine types. But at the end, I am going to show you ways you can use pre-built coroutine types from third-party libraries, and that's going to ease your way into using coroutines in C++20. Another feature coroutines provide is give you the ability to do lazy computations, and this is going to be really something we saw in ranges. For example, we saw that we could set up views and we could iterate on those views lazily, generating numbers that we need on the fly. We can set up something like this using coroutines. And towards the end of this chapter, I will show you an example of how you can build this feature from scratch, building on top of the C++20 coroutine infrastructure we have in place. Now, coroutines are really exciting, but they can be really confusing to understand, especially for beginners. So we are going to head over in the next lecture and learn about the coroutine workflow in terms of the function call stack. And we're going to see how the posing and resume works in terms of function calls. So go ahead and finish up here and meet me there.